Alright, welcome back. We're on day 17. Today I was thinking about doing sort of a more challenging aerial view from an airplane, looking down at some fields or, crops, squares. But I don't know. I thought it was too weird for today. It was very simple, so maybe too simple. So I'm gonna go with something a little more traditional today, and something that feels more Pleinairpril-y. But on the development side, there's been a couple little fixes. One fix is that now when you have custom textures in here, like for example I have this from yesterday. I brought in this custom texture that looks like this, right? So this is a custom tool texture, and the issue is if we, for example, were to remove that texture, and by the way, I'm bringing up this file, this folder, by pressing Control U or Command U on a Mac. For Windows it's Control U. On the iPad it's in your Files app and then inside HEAVYPAINT folder. But anyway, this folder has all of the kind of user data. It has your preferences, has your hotkeys, your config, your preferences, and also textures. So if we go into textures, this is the texture that we're using right here. And if I were to, for example, rename this or delete it, like for, sometimes people lose their textures folder. I guess if you were, reformatting your computer or whatever, or you just lost it somehow, then the issue is that when we go back, let's say I save this picture now, and then I go forwards in Sketchbook and then go back. Hey, what the heck? Why is it still there? Oh, okay. Let me reopen HEAVYPAINT now to demonstrate that when it's looking for this texture, this custom texture, it's gonna search for it when we try to load the painting, and then it doesn't find it, so it'll load a default like just blank white texture. So before, the problem was if you were to save this picture again now, it would, so we're saving over it again, it would keep that default white texture in there and it would forget about the custom texture that you were using before. So now it's changed so that it will never forget about the custom texture. It'll just always keep that information there behind. So now if I bring the texture back by renaming it back to what it was before, we should be able to reload HEAVYPAINT and it'll detect the missing texture now, I hope. Let's see. There we go. So cool. And this will just be good for, retaining the data of our paintings, because we definitely don't want to lose this kind of data. So this is definitely a good thing. Thanks to Dan for pointing that out, that this was indeed missing, and it was a kind of a problem. So that's been fixed. Also, I found a couple things where, like, if you were auto-saving and you clicked the rotate tool, it would freeze up the UI, and I think I've fixed that now so that you shouldn't run into problems with the freezing UI bug anymore after autosave. Alright, so let me get back into this and start painting. So I guess I can use my custom texture today, because it is safe to use. I'm not going to have any trouble with it. And if you're new to the custom textures system, there's a lot of flexibility in there too. So you see how it's like it's getting dark in certain areas where the texture is dark, but we can adjust that by controlling the texture saturation here. So if I want to make it really subtle, I'll just go lower on the saturation, and then it will, you know, go closer to flat color. Alright, this is way off in the distance, so just, I think the color's jumping too much. Okay, and then behind, go for the white. I think in this case, maybe I'll keep the clouds and the sky together on one layer because I want to be able to smudge and control the edges between these two, you know, the sky color and the cloud color. So it's better if those are on one layer to be able to smudge, I guess. And then yesterday we were trying the toddler mode, or toddler grip, which is like holding the pen like this, like a toddler would hold a crayon. Let me see. Hello, Will. Hi, Juan. Oh, my screen was a bit off. I like that this cloud is just sort of pyramid, super dominant shape, right smack in the middle. And then for these clouds that are over it, much darker. I've noticed a lot of people are using the dry brush in like yesterday's Pleinairprils. I saw it popping up a lot in the on Instagram and stuff, so that was pretty exciting. I'm finding that like sometimes these little changes that take me like 10 seconds, you know, it literally takes a minute to create this dry brush tool, because it's really just like 2 settings that you're changing here to get that to happen. Not even, it's like one setting basically, and then it, you know, and that is the thing that makes people want to use. They're like, oh, that dry brush thing, that's amazing. I want to get the new version just because of that. Meanwhile, there's features that I've spent months and months on, and were like incredibly technically challenging with like hundreds of lines or thousands of lines of, you know, work, and those things kind of nobody cares about. So that's kind of just another confirmation that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I will never understand. I will never understand. But anyway, it's encouraging to see people use the dry brush. I think it's my new favorite right now. Well, at the same time though, I guess I should qualify that by saying that, you know, the dry brush, to make this tool is just one setting, but to you know, make the shader that can enable this setting, you know, to add that setting into the program took a lot longer. Like this was maybe a couple weeks of testing and stuff to get all the noise, the new noise system in there. So I guess that it's misleading to say that it took like a minute to make that tool, because it took a while to create the back-end systems that enable making that tool, or the groundwork, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, it's too dark. Maybe eventually this gets bright at the top. Even brighter than that. I think this is the most painterly tool that we have so far in Heavy Paint. The dry brush, because each stroke gets a little bit different noise to it, so they don't all look like robotically the same. There's a bit of natural variation, and then also this mixed with smudge, I think, makes something that's really pretty relatively convincing paint, right? Especially when you go back and forth and it like pools up on the edges. I really like how that pooling looks. And I wonder if I can just like, because with clouds, the clouds always look better if they have this, you know, easygoing, you know, easy breezy cover girl kind of energy with the clouds. So if I'm somehow able to get that energy, I think that would be good. And that energy to me is just going fast and making big swoopy marks like that. Maybe I should use my overhand like the toddler style for this. I don't know. So it could be like making it so that the clouds don't really look like the picture, but they have the energy of the picture. If that makes sense. So let me go more bluish down here. Or maybe I can be more precise with the dry brush and then looser with the smudge. I'm not sure. These are just ideas that we have to test and see if it looks good. Okay, I don't think it should be soft everywhere, because then that looks like a mush. I definitely need to have some sharp edges. Like the bottoms of the clouds are generally sharp. There's some parts where there's like light against dark that's really sharp. Maybe I can get that happening with the fill gradient. Okay, and here. What the hell? Oh, I keep trying to use my finger on the iPad, but then I remember I'm not. This is Sidecar. I'm not actually using the iPad. fully, so it doesn't have touch. I keep getting confused. Okay, this is more greenish here. Right? I feel like it's greenish, bluish at the bottom, and then as the shape comes towards the top, it's becoming redder and lighter, of course. So maybe if I just keep adding in red. I think I need bigger brush also. Because remember, we only have like an hour to do this, so I'm not really trying to do everything too accurately. Just sort of approximation of it, a good enough version, which in the end I think that people enjoy looking at things that are approximations in terms of, you know, these Pleinairpril pieces, because, you know, the photo's the photo. The photo is the truth, right? And we can never really beat the photo at its own game. So we're making little white lies for our version of the painting. Having trouble with this bottom side of the cloud. It's not totally crispy, the bottom side of this cloud right here. I think it's a little bit, but it's not that soft either, right? So it's something in the middle. I think what we have here is okay. Dry brush feels great. Nice. Thanks, Barry. Alright. Down here, bottom of the cloud, what's going on? It gets a little bit brighter right at the intersection between these two, the light and the dark. That could also be this part getting darker down here. I don't know if you guys can hear the neighbors. It sounds like somebody just got hit in the face with a basketball or something. They're shouting, but it's okay. Sorry, no nature bird sounds today. It's just neighbor sounds. That's probably too pink. Whatever. I like it. This is more bluish here. So, okay, so now I'm the shape I know is wonky or it's weird, but I don't really care about the shape right now. I'm more concerned about the color. So I'm going to try to hone in and get that exact mountain color back there, which I think is greenish a little bit, bluish, and purple. It's all the color. God damn it. These blue aquas always are really difficult for me, so I have to try a few times before I get it. And then the same thing with the light side here. These always trip me up a lot. Like I think the photo looks more, would you say it looks more like sunny or more rich? Mine is a little bit gray. But then is it like that? Less red is what I just did. I think that's better. This is a tentative color right here. I don't know if this is right, but it's better than what I had there, so. And then there's a shadow that was going across in front. So basically, yeah, anytime I put down a color, it's sort of tentative. It's better than the one that I had there before, but I'm still not totally sure if it's the final best color. And usually it takes me like a few passes at it before I feel satisfied with the color that I put down. I don't know about you guys. I wish I had perfect pitch, but for color, but I'm not there yet. But that's one of the magical things when you're watching somebody who's like a master painter, is when they have that perfect pitch. Like they see a color, even in isolation, they can nail it like on the first try, basically. And that is just an incredible skill that's really difficult to do. But I think I'm getting better though. I remember when I first started painting, I was really far off usually, and even all the way up until the end of the painting, I would still like not be able to really even get close to the colors that I needed, or I wouldn't even be able to tell that I was off. That was the main problem, is like I would be off and not realize it, basically. And I wonder if maybe there could be a tool or some way to help a new painter to, or help any painter to analyze and see kind of scientifically how far off are you from the reference image. Maybe it could be something where it like compares the numerical values of the red, green, and blue on every single pixel, and it can check and see how far different it is. Although that would be more for that would affect shapes too, because then like if your shape was not on the same pixel, then that would be wrong. So I don't know, something like that, some kind of way to analyze. I feel like we have ways to analyze everything. We can even analyze our sleep, there's apps for that. You can analyze your mood by tracking it every day or whatever, but for paintings it's harder, because there's just so much information. Visual stuff is very heavy information. And that's why video files take up so much space compared to, say, like a song or text, something like that. So I think visuals stuff is pretty complicated, and the way we process it and analyze it is kind of intuitive, and yeah, we think of it more like an art than a science. But I think that's changing now though, with AI stuff and machines actually being able to look at an image and tell what it is, at least, or even synthesizing things and saying like, oh, you want an image that looks like that, but it has these features, and what does that look like? And that stuff to me is pretty interesting too. That's pretty amazing. And of course it's also scary, especially for professional, you know, when your livelihood depends on that skill being, you know, difficult and rare. Okay, enough scary talk. Let's get back to painting. They have apps for pitch training. Yeah, exactly. That is, and yeah, make a score based off of how far your RGB is from the actual. Although I think the score would have to be more sophisticated than just that, because sometimes when you're painting, let's say you only want to judge a certain aspect of the painting, like let's say I only want to judge the values, or I only want to judge the colors, or I only want to judge the shapes. How close are those? You know, and so you can focus on one specific thing. So yeah, maybe some way to isolate each attribute and then kind of check and see how you're doing with them. Okay, I think I'm gonna do my usual trick of leaving this bottom on a different layer. Or actually, no. You know what? I'll stop being cheap and make a new layer just for the ground, because I feel like it deserves it, because we're probably gonna need to do some big strokes for the texture of the road. Like these kind of swooping angled lines. So in that case we should keep it masked off. I think it's kind of greenish in the middle. I think it's pretty dark. Dark. So I'm trying to make these marks all follow the direction of the road for sure, and that'll just give everything a little bit of perspective for free, basically. You can imagine, if you want to be real scientific about it, you could imagine maybe like a red dot up here somewhere, or I don't know where the vanishing point would be. Maybe, let's see, and then we can use line radial, or let me do this on a new layer. Line radial, and why isn't line radial working? What the fuck? Oh my god, is my pencil dead? No, it's not dead. What happened? What happened? Line radial is freaking out here. Let me try that again. That's not good. Oh shoot, my road is gone. Damn it. Okay, line radial. Huh. What was that? Anyway, let's say the point is up here somewhere, and then we have line radial. I'll make it small size. And then we can say the road is like all going this way. Right? Something like that. Let me do that again. There. So we got perspective. And if you wanted to do 2-point perspective, you would just do another line radial somewhere else. Like up here. Yeah, now we got weird 2-point perspective. Off to the side. Then it would be, I don't know why I'm all of a sudden doing a perspective demo, but it would be something like, okay, we're gonna put a random cube in the sky. Here it is, we're following the perspective lines. And then we can have 3-point perspective by putting a point all the way up here. Oops. There we go. And then go back to my cube color and say, yeah, 3-point perspective. Did I do that right? Probably didn't do that right. I think this point needs to be like between these two. Yeah, I think. Do I know what I'm doing? I'm not sure what I've... This is weird. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Anyway, this grid does not fit with what we're drawing here at all. This is all 1-point perspective, so let me cancel that. Oh my god, what the hell? Did I screw it up again? What is going on here? It's something... Oh god. It's so annoying because it's not giving me any bug in the... Or it's not giving me any information in the debug, so I don't know what's going on. Crap. It's something to do with like zooming, new layer, deleting, I don't know. It's some kind of input blocking that's happening. Okay, let me get back to actually painting. It's a bit of a bummer because I thought this was fixed. There's been like 10 attempts to fix this and I'm running out of ideas now. But I don't know. Some of the people that have been having the issue have said that it doesn't really happen anymore, so maybe like the common case where it happens has been solved. And there's still like a weird version of it that keeps happening. Okay, let me go later again. Also, another change in this version is that the grab bar has become bigger. It's basically the whole top of this control can be grabbed now, which I think it was becoming annoying because, especially on mobile, they tend to block this top area in the center of the screen. They put like their own, iOS has their own control there for like split screen, and then Android has their own control. So I made it bigger so that, you know, the mobile controls won't interfere with it. Oh yeah, and then on top of that, some phones actually have the freaking camera right there, so it's another UI blocking element. Not fun. I don't know about you guys, but I never use the front camera on my phone. Ever. I guess I don't really do any like phone calls on my phone or video calls on my phone. But I've never understood why, like, what's the big deal about front cameras? Why does everybody want a front camera? Because it's usually gonna be like worse quality than the rear camera, right? And if you really need to take a picture of yourself, you can just turn the damn phone around and point it at your face. Actually, no, I lied. I do use it. I only use it on trips if there's like, if we have to do a group selfie or something. But it's like 1% of the time. Or I've seen some phones where the way they solve that issue is they have another screen on the back of the phone. So you can turn around the phone, use the back camera, but then also have a screen so you can see like what you're pointing at. You could either do that or just have a mirror on the back of the phone so you can see. Like, because that's really all you need, is just, you need the ability to see. But yeah, it's an interesting design compromise on basically any modern phone, is that they're becoming more and more intrusive with their camera cutouts and stuff and the UI cutouts, that it's like kind of annoying to avoid all those little gotchas. Uh-oh, I'm painting on the wrong layer. Oh well. Okay, New layer for the cars, I think. I think the cars will be pretty simple on this one. They're darker. And higher up. Darker. Less green. Third time's a charm. Nope, still haven't got it. I think it's a little bit more green, a little bit lighter. There we go. I think that's about right. And then what? There's some light cars down the way. All the way down there. And even lighter. Everybody's got gray cars today. Okay, my road needs some work, I think. It's too crooked. And it needs to get bright. Right, something like that. Oh, yeah. Hello, Joe. Pencils are better with lead, not dead. Okay, interesting. Ah, God. Is anyone here actually doing Pleinairpril? Am I the only one in the chat? Has anyone here actually done the 17 days so far? I'm pretty surprised with how fast this month is going. I feel like it's already more than halfway, and yeah, it went super fast. Okay, cars. There was a pretty cool cement truck on the left side, but I had to crop it out. Kind of wish that was part of the picture here. Juan says, nope. Okay, I appreciate your honesty. Have you done any yet, Juan? Or have you done it in previous years? I should do, maybe tomorrow I'll do like a real quick, maybe we can do little 5-minute Pleinairprils, or just little 5-minute landscapes, just to hopefully get people motivated to just bust something out. Even if it's crappy, just make something, you know. We're not trying to make like a masterpiece or anything, just put something out every day. Boop 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 boo boop boo. Not even a diet. Oh yeah, I would fail at diets. I have like no self-control. I don't know, but if you do like if you do a couple of them, then it becomes kind of fun, because then you have a little streak going, and then it's like a game to see how long you can keep it going. But yeah, I'm usually pretty bad with the challenges too. I haven't done Inktober in forever, since Jake Parker got canceled or whatever. Okay. The top of the car actually gets really bright because it's reflecting the clouds. Woo! Not mask it like that. Then the sides should not be quite as bright, but they do catch a lot of light too. And then the glass in the middle is dark. Actually, I think I made the side highlights too bright. So I'm gonna go back and go like 70%. There. That feels more natural. Clean that up a little. My road is kind of messed up. Let me see, maybe liquify. Okay. My road is so lumpy. Hey Judah, welcome. You just found out about heavy paint? That's awesome. How did you hear about it? I'm always curious to know. Yeah, I feel like heavy paint should be a pretty ideal tool for Pleinairpril. I mean, it's kind of designed for this kind of quick sketching. And it did start from the Warrior Painters group, who's hosting Pleinairpril. So our fates are intertwined forever. Yeah, on that note, it's been cool to see how Warrior Painters has kind of grown over the years. When I started going, it was just me, Michelle, Angela, Kaylee, their dogs, and their friend Misty. And yeah, so it was just a handful of people, and then now there's people doing it all over the place in different countries, um, and then yeah, and then heavy paint has kind of been next, like a cousin of warrior painters, because it started from warrior painters going to the weekly meetups and stuff and painting with everybody, and then now they have their school going, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, they seem to be growing pretty fast. And they've got a good team too, because Angela's a painter. She's an artist, and she works in the animation industry, so she knows a lot of great artists too, and like has a great network that way. And then she's always making these beautiful paintings, and a lot of companies want to work with her. And she's art directed stuff and all that. And then on the other side is Kaylee, who does all the business part of it, which is another huge part of the whole thing. Like trying to do the marketing, organize events, do interviews, getting people to help them, teach the classes and stuff is a ton of work. So they have a team going, and it seems to be working pretty well. Yeah, to be honest, I won't lie and say that I'm not jealous. I wish I had a team going, because that seems like the ideal way to work, when you have one person doing one side, another person doing the other side. I think a lot of great companies are sort of set up that way, because it makes sense. But yeah, hopefully someday I can find someone that can help me on do the stuff that I'm really bad at. Okay, cars are on the way. I think we can even get away with just putting the little highlights on the roof, and that might be enough. Here, let me oops. Okay, we got the highlight, and then we have dark windows. I don't want to go too dark, because these are farther away in atmosphere, so they should have a little bit of blue in the windows, I think, to make it feel like they're down the way. I think there's even extra atmosphere on close to the road level in this case, because maybe there's some steam coming up from the wet road. It looks like it just rained or something, right? Like the road looks kind of shiny and wet. So maybe the sun's come out, it's a little bit of steam, it's like burning off the wetness. And so that can also influence the atmosphere next to the road. Got Mr. Truck over here. Get the glass. And then the other side, whoa, shoot. Other side of the glass is pretty bright. Brighter than that. Third time's a charm. There we go. Boom. Through a Discord server. The server was a school called CalArts. Oh, yeah, I know CalArts. I've been to CalArts before. That's a pretty cool school. For anybody who doesn't know CalArts, they kind of produce all the showrunners for channels like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, and I think a lot of Pixar people came from CalArts. A lot of, legendary animation stuff came out of CalArts. Brian heard about it from Zach Retz. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, Zach's I wonder what happened with, because Zach was using HEAVYPAINT pretty heavily for a little while. I mean, he was doing multiple paintings a day with it, and then he stopped for some reason. I wonder, I should ask him and see what happened. Okay. This is... Are you a CalArts student, or you just lurk in the Discord? Just lurking. Hope to apply. Yeah, well, I mean, good luck. That's definitely a top school. But if you're able to get in there, that would be amazing. I think CalArts, what is it? I think their arch nemesis is Art Center. Maybe. I've heard Art Center described as like the Death Star by CalArts people, which is pretty funny because it totally does seem like the Death Star when you think about it. Like the Art Center building is all black steel, super industrial, like matte black, shiny floors, and then CalArts is more, you know, folksy, maybe a little more friendly atmosphere. Yeah, and then Art Center's like business time. Business time atmosphere. But they're both great schools. I'll pretend this cement mixer truck is just a tree over here. One more week of Art Center. Nice. How are you liking Art Center so far, Jaden? I remember when Jaden was in here saying the same thing as Judah. He's like, "Oh, I hope I get into Art Center," and he was applying and everything, I think. And now he's a real Art Center student. Real life Art Center student. Very fun. Really fun? Wow. You are... I don't remember art school being fun at all. But I think I've been looking at the work you're doing at school. It looks pretty amazing. But it looks like, I mean, it seems like you're pretty good at, it seems like you're pretty fast. Like the way you, at least just from the schedule that you were posting before and the amount of work you were doing all the time, it seems like you've got it down. So maybe the workload is manageable. But I remember, for me, I was really struggling with workload. I was just like always behind, always catching up, always stressing out. But I'm glad to hear that you're having fun. That is amazing to me. Or I don't know. I guess it is fun. Where you're still painting and drawing and learning about art, which is cool. It's just maybe it's fun, but it's not easy. That's... Oh no, I'm running out of time. I only have 14 minutes left. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to blur out the bottom of this shadow. I mean, overall, it feels about right. I think. I mean, I'm missing that giant cement mixer truck, so that whole left side is sort of a mystery. I could put in that dark. You know, the road gets darker there, but that wouldn't really be accurate in this case because we're missing that big vehicle there. So I don't know if this shadow will make any sense. Let me try it and see. Maybe a little bit just for a vignette. Same thing on this side. Okay, maybe just a little bit more detail on the road, like these little lines, and a little more texture on this area. Alright, just scribble all over the place a little bit. Make a little bit of a mess. There's some signage over here too I missed. I don't think I'm going to draw the whole, like, I don't like the way the street lights look, but I do like the power line. So I'll just convert this to a power line. I think power lines are more romantic than street lights in this situation here. I'm just sticking some more lines. It's just nice for scale, I think. Alright. Let's see, maybe I can go in with a little bit of lighter stuff. These little lines, I think they get brighter as we go down into the distance. I'm not totally sure, but I think that's what's happening. And the road too, it gets brighter down here in the distance. And that's because of the Fresnel effect, which is a 3D thing usually, but it also applies, I mean, it's a real life phenomena where like if you have a surface and the angle is becoming very, very shallow to your eye, then it becomes more shiny. So since the road is almost like completely flat to our eyeball down there, it gets more and more shiny. So we'll try to get that happening. And you can also see that effect happening here with the cars. You know, like this top reflection is very, that if you imagine the roof of the car, that surface is basically, you know, we're looking at it directly straight on from our viewpoint, or I mean like I don't know how to explain. The angle is very shallow of the roof, so then it becomes very shiny. Same thing with the glass here on the side of the car, of the truck. It's angled maybe like, I don't know, 15. It's sort of shallow also. So it gets shiny. But I like how messy the texture is in here. And I think that looks cool. little bit of scribbling at the end I usually like to do, just so it looks a little more goofy, a little more childlike. Just have a little bit of, I guess, more playful scribbling. Actually, that looks kind of bad. Never mind, I don't want that sign. Maybe a small version. Maybe we can, I'm gonna try putting in some like little dots up here to indicate traffic in the distance. Looks like his tail light's out. I might be going overboard on this road here. Oh, shoot. I'm out of time. Alright. That's it, guys. I actually feel like I finished this right in time. I'm pretty much ready to wrap this up. So, but yeah, if you should look up Fresnel effect, which is spelled kind of different, funny because it's French. It's Fresnel, it's spelled like that. So look that up on YouTube, and that one thing explains so much stuff about lighting and reflections, basically, because it applies to any material, pretty much. So definitely recommend learn what that is if you want to get good at painting. Okay, cool. So thank you for joining in, guys and girls. We'll continue tomorrow, hopefully, and have a good rest of your day. I'll see you next time.